Alright guys, it seems that we today have a very lively news segment as we got many stories coming in and Trump is in the news really, really bad. It seems that he has found what he needed in order to go after Joe Biden and all of the left-wing extremists that have been trying to destroy the United States for the past 5 years. Also, in today's news, I am going to be talking about the housing in Canada. And guys, we got so much more than that. So come on in. I'm your host, Parmesan, and this is Niagara Due North, everybody. Welcome to the show. So we have breaking here, folks. Today, Donald Trump inside of the Capitol building with Michael Johnson at his side went for a giant unity speech. Conservative parties never been more united. We're passing this big, beautiful bill that every Trump supporter was against before Trump got in. And you best believe they're going to say he's attacking his political opponents over this. Guys, let's get into this video.
And now you found out and find out what happened, because Biden, look, it's a very sad thing what happened, but we're going to start looking into this whole thing with who signed this legislation. Who signed legislation opening our border? I don't think he knew. I said there's nobody that could want an open border. Nobody. And now I find out that it wasn't him. He auto-penned it. Who was operating the auto-pen? This is a very serious thing. We had a president that didn't sign anything. He auto-penned almost everything. He opened the borders of the United States of America. And I kept saying, who would do such a thing? Who would sign this? Nobody would sign it. No sane person would sign it. You know who signed it? Radical left lunatics that were running our country. He didn't approve this stuff because when Joe Biden was with it, he would never have approved it. You take a look. He would have never approved open borders. Go ahead.
The left went to Joe Biden. This was Joe Biden's 4th time running for president. And he sold his soul. They said, we'll let you be president. You can finally get your dream of becoming the president. And you can spend just do whatever you want. You be president, you do whatever you want. And these people came in and ran the country without Joe Biden. Joe Biden didn't do nothing. That's why he was so teleprompter read. Because he didn't know what was going on. He literally didn't know what was going on because he wasn't doing anything. He was on vacation. It is so crazy, that situation, because you almost want to feel sorry for the old guy. But at the same time, nah, he's got no reason to feel sorry for him at all. I'm excited to present this next one from Moose on the Loose, guys. I found a Moose on the Loose post that I'm going to talk about. Awesome, dude. Get going, Moose. Palestinians call for an official NABCA Day. Be recognized in Canada among many other demands. They demanded Canada build an anti-Palestinian racism at the federal level. You can start by stop burning the Canadian flag and chanting death to Canada. NABCA Day. It marks the beginning of the destruction of the Palestinian homeland and the mass displacement in 1948 that the Palestinians started. That was fun though. I saw something interesting that Moose on the List posted. I had to do that. Dave, post more stuff. I will gladly put it on my channel. And guess what, guys? That's a video. So go to his tweets or go to his X and watch that video and then go subscribe to his YouTube channel. That dude, he's better than Mr. Sunshine Baby. And moving on here, folks, let's bring up the screen, okay? Mark Carney makes a giant tweet about his meetings and whatever with this Palestinian junk, okay? My joint statement with Keir Starmer and Emmanuel Macron on the situation in Gaza and the West Bank. We strongly oppose the expansion of Israel's military operations in Gaza. The level of human suffering in Gaza is intolerable. Yesterday's announcement that Israel will allow basic quantity of food into Gaza is wholly inadequate. We call on the Israeli government to stop its military operations in Gaza and immediately allow humanitarian aid to enter Gaza. This must include engaging in the UN to ensure a return to delivery of aid in line with humanitarian principles. We call on Hamas to release immediately the remaining hostages they have so cruelly held since October 7th, 2023. Those people have all been logged off. The Israeli government's denial of essential humanitarian assistance to the civilian population is unacceptable and risks breaching international humanitarian law. We condemn, there's the C word, the abhorrent language used recently by members of Israeli government, threatening that, in their despair at the destruction of Gaza, civilians will start to relocate. Permanent forced displacement is a breach of international humanitarian law. Boy, isn't that a funny outlook when this is purposely what they are doing and what they want? Israel suffered a heinous attack on October 7th, and we have always supported Israel's right to defend Israelis against terrorism, but this escalation is wholly disproportionate. No such thing as proportionate responses. We will not stand by while the Netanyahu government pursues these egregious actions. If Israel does not cease the renewed military offensive and lift its restrictions on humanitarian aid, we will take further concrete actions in response. We oppose any attempt to extend settlements in the West Bank. Israel must halt settlements which are illegal and undermine the viability of a Palestinian state and the security of both Israelis and Palestinians. We will not hesitate to take further action, including targeted sanctions. We strongly support the efforts led by the United States, Qatar, and Egypt to secure an immediate ceasefire on Gaza. It is a ceasefire, the release of all remaining hostages, and long-term political solution that offer the best hope of ending the agony of the hostages and their families, alleviating the suffering of civilians in Gaza, ending Hamas's control of the Gaza, and achieving a pathway to two-state solution. Consistent with the goals of the June 18th conference in New York, co-chaired by Saudi Arabia and France. These negotiations need to succeed, and we must all work towards the implementation of a two-state solution, which is the only way to bring long-lasting peace and security to both Israelis and Palestinians. We will continue to work with the Palestinian Authority, regional partners, and Israel, Israel and the United States to finalize consensus on arrangements for Gaza's future, building up the Arab plan. We affirm the important role of the high-level two-state solution conference at the UN in June in building international consensus around this aim, and we are committed to recognizing a Palestinian state as a contribution to achieving a two-state solution and are prepared to work with others to this end. Which, of course, then got this reaction from the devil himself. This CBC watcher, guys. The Hamas movement on Monday welcomed the joint statement issued by the leaders of Britain, France, and Canada, calling it a significant step in the right direction. Now look at this. Hamas welcomes UK, France, and Canada's statement as a step in the right direction. This is the second time that Canada has been praised by a T-wrist. So my thing on this issue is that people need to butt out because the people over there don't want a two-state solution. They don't want it. And we shouldn't force that on them. That's just all there is to it. Moving on, can't talk about it too much. I might have already got punished. Next, guys, we're going to give you today's top story. So it appears that the United States is closing in on Canada and the thing. And I think this might be the key to it. We're just going to jump right into the video.
The border. In the first 2-3 months that we've been in the seat under Donald Trump's administration, he has sealed the border. He has stopped border crossings. So where's all the fentanyl coming from still? Where's the trafficking coming from still? Where are all the narco traffickers going to keep bringing this stuff into the country? The northern border. Our adversaries have partnered up with the CCP and others, Russia, Iran, on a variety of different criminal enterprises, and they're going and they're sailing around to Vancouver and coming in by air. And the sheer tyranny of distance of the northern border and the lack of cooperation from federal authorities in prior administrations to actually firm up that northern border is what's causing a continuation of violent crime. Now, we're focused on it, and we're calling our state and local law enforcement partners up there. But you know who has to get to step in is Canada, because they're making it up there and shipping it down here. And I don't care about getting into this debate about making someone the 51st state or not, but they are our partner in the north. And say what you want about Mexico, but they helped us seal the southern border.
See, so they're closing in on Canada. Libs. Guys, I don't understand how you can just sit there and just take all this stuff. They hired a border czar. He's done nothing. Don't you get that it's just for show? Don't you understand that everything that they do and say is all just for show, and they have an agenda that they're pushing? The only part of the agenda that you ever get to see them do is when it's finished. That's it. Right now, what is Carney not talking about right now? He's going around, well, he's not talking about the tariffs, right? He's going around to all the European leaders. He is making deals because he knows that he can't, like, United States is going to hurt us really bad. And there's nothing that he can do to stop it because he was he was one of the leaders in cooperating with this street candy crisis. So Carney knows that he needs to go around and vert United States on everything possible. Donald Trump just completely ruined trade with Canada's aluminum industry by going to the Middle East. They just announced opening up an aluminum factory that will supply an extra 40% worth of aluminum to the United States. Buy Canada's aluminum. That sucks for Quebec. Quebec's going to have to find somewhere else for that to go because they're not going to pay the tariffs. No matter what, the tariffs are always going to at least be 10%. The Liberals cozied up with China too much, and now we're getting screwed for it. And lastly, for you folks, I am going to talk a little bit about the housing situation that we all voted for with our elbows up, okay? Did anybody see this video from Table Salt? It's Toronto. It's a video in Toronto of tiny homes, 220 square feet of apartments. 220 square foot apartments, and your window shines right out into the nice metal and brick yard. And he is completely right. This is an open air prison. Jesus. Oh wow, the cameras do such a good job at making it look really big, eh? And you get in there and it's not even the size of a bedroom. It's going to be bigger than a bedroom, but still. 220 square feet, that's your affordable home. And if you think you're going to own that, then you're really stupid. Because what's going to happen is companies are going to own that, and you will be at the whim of a corporate entity. You will never deal with a landlord. You will only deal with some kind of weird company that will change all the time because contracts run up and all that globalist garbage. Right? Look at this too. This is not quite the same thing. This is a little bit nicer, but this is the future, guys.
Homes at St. James Park are now keeping people experiencing homelessness warm and sheltered this winter. Sick of seeing people sleeping outside, Ryan Donay decided to take action last spring.
This is not at all a solution for housing. This is a temporary gap between tents and permanent housing, so people aren't living so rough.
With a background in construction, Donay began the nonprofit Tiny Homes to replace tent encampments with mobile units that contain a bed, table, and sink, all equipped with fire and carbon monoxide alarms, a furnace, and a fire extinguisher. Each structure taking about 40 hours to build, he hopes to ramp up production using local products, materials, and labor to help his community.
You see, this is nice. This is nice. Don't get me wrong. This isn't really much to do with the housing, but it's a glimpse, right? It's a glimpse What if you can't afford anything at all because you have a modest job, like you're a server at a restaurant, or everything's just a freaking robot, and you're just a not popular YouTuber like me? Right? So you're pretty much at the whim of ad revenue from certain games that you play and social media services that you're on. And you got to live in one of these. I want to outline the problems here. Okay? What about this makes him not want to be homeless anymore? What about this makes him not want to be homeless anymore? That's the problem. These people want to make it comfortable to be homeless so he can keep getting, like, he wants homeless people to be comfortable and really enjoy living in there so they can stay homeless. And then more people can be homeless. And his budget from the government can enlarge and get much bigger and much bigger, until you're seeing a very large amount of people living in these things because they're all homeless, can't find a job because of immigrants and automation, and all they can do is source ad revenue from games like Mistplay. And if you think it's getting any better, remember all this stuff? Remember the mayor of Vancouver?
Delivery need to go down. No, I think that we need to deliver more supply, make sure the market is stable. It's a huge part of our economy. We need to be delivering more affordable housing.
Carney said the same thing.
Hi, Mr. Carney. Mackenzie Gray with Global News. Do you want house prices to go down in Canada?
I want house prices to be more affordable for Canadians. It means getting specific costs out of the price, so for new home buyers. The second thing we want is to strip out, and we will do, put in place measures so to strip out, in fact, half the development charges for construction. The third thing we think needs to happen, and we'll do at scale, is to help develop a much more efficient home building industry in Canada.
So housing's not getting any better. This is your future, guys. I got to get out of here. You got to get out of here. Screw Alberta separation, man. We all got to freaking get out. Check out this post right here from Dr. Mike P. Moffat. Check out this post right here from Dr. Michael P. Moffat. The new federal housing minister stated for the middle-class housing affordability is to keep home prices flat and let wages catch up. We ran the numbers, and it takes up to 50 years in some places. Look at this. So I live right around Hamilton, Burlington. 22 and a half years. 22 and a half years. I'll be 58 years old. I'll be 58 years old when housing affordability reaches 2005 levels. And I already see it all over the place. Tiny houses are already reaching $200,000. So I don't know what to do, guys. Like and subscribe down below, folks, so I can get a better financial situation. I don't know, but I will see you guys all next time on Niagara Due North. I'm your host, Parmesan.